sacred evening time. This is a time in Indian tradition we call Sandhya. It's that sacred time, that shift from the day into the evening. It's a very, very auspicious time for prayers, for meditation, for that which reconnects us. Like we've gone out in the day, we've done whatever we need to do. And now we return, not just physically to the home, but we actually return back to the self. So even though for us we've been on this beautiful retreat all day, it's still a very, very sacred time, this evening time. So let's begin with some more sacred mantra chanting. I know our beloved Shreya and Roshni had a wonderful class in Sanskrit earlier today, but don't worry if in an hour you haven't learned all these mantras yet and their meanings. Don't worry. There's a power in the Sanskrit language that actually transforms us alchemically, especially in the mantras. There's a whole science of sound. So don't worry whether you understand the meanings or not. Just allow yourself to really absorb them, to allow them in, not just in the physical ear, but actually in their inner ear. So I'll ask Pujya Swamiji to begin with some sacred mantras. So let us close our eyes and keep them comfortably closed. We'll go straight from the sacred mantras into meditation. So just allow yourself to find a place and a position that's comfortable. And allow yourself to just go within and be open to receive.
Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garudadhvajaha Mangalam Pundarikaksho Mangalayatano Harihi. Sarvamangal Mangalye Shive Sarvarth Sadhike Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Narayani Namostute. Narayani Namostute. Brahma Muraris Tripurantakari Bhanu Shashibhu Misuto Budhasya Guruscha Shukraha Shani Rahu Ketava Sarve Graha Shantikara Bhavantu. Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvisha Vahai. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Allow the eyes to stay closed. And just allow yourself to rest for a moment in that experience of the vibrational transformation of the mantras. Feel that vibrational energy flowing through you. Feel it touching and awakening and illuminating the cells of your being. Sound is an energy, a frequency. Feel the impact of the frequency of that sound upon the energy of your being. Allow the awareness to rest gently on the breath. We're not forcing it, we're not grabbing it, we're not enslaving it or tying it up. We're just gently drawing the power of awareness inward. It's normally focused on the world around us, and we're just drawing it inward. And we're drawing it into that flow of sacred prana. that flow of life force through us. Allow the awareness to just melt and merge into the breath. We learned a beautiful mantra today from Pujya Swamiji, the mantra of So Hum. So hum, I am that. As you inhale, allow yourself silently, gently, to chant to yourself, so. As you inhale, just so on the inhalations. And as you exhale, gently and silently to yourself, just ever so gently. Allow that sound of so hum to flow in and out on the breath. And as it flows through you, allow yourself to feel the energetic reverberation of that sound inside of you. So hum. Take the breaths at your own pace, but just allow that awareness to gently chant that mantra to yourself as you inhale and exhale. If the mind wanders, just gently bring it back. Don't berate yourself. Don't tell yourself a story about your wandering mind. Just gently bring it back to the breath and to this mantra. So hum. I am that. I am inseparable from the Creator and the creation. I am that. Slowly and gently, bring the palms of your hands together at chest level in Namaste and rub them gently against each other. Press the palms of your hands into your closed eyes. And slowly lower your hands and open your eyes. So this evening, we're talking about relationships. How to have them happy, healthy, harmonious. Conscious, authentic, connected. We live in relationship. And so when our relationships are not happy, we find that we are not happy. It's important, of course, to remember that when we talk about relationship, we don't always mean romance. Relationship is anyone, including ourselves, and we're going to start with ourselves, with whom we have a connection. An active, interactive connection. And yeah, let's start with ourselves. Because of course, the relationship we have with ourselves is the foundation for the relationship we're going to have with anyone else. You've all heard in 100 different ways, at least 100 different times, that you can only give to the world what you have, right? If we're not anchored in joy, anchored in peace, anchored in self, what are we going to give others? So we've got to focus on our relationship with ourself first. I can only give love to others if I'm able to generate love inside. In order to give anything to someone, it has to be generated within me. Otherwise, where am I going to give it from? Can't, order it for someone to come gift wrapped on Amazon. All right, I don't have any love, but I want to give you some love. So I'm going to, order you some and it'll show up day after tomorrow with a gift card from me. I can't do that. I could send you almost anything else, but I can't give you love. I've got to actually generate that inside of me to give it to you. I can't actually send you happiness or joy. I've got to generate it in me and then share it with you. It's the only way. It's why those of us who try to love others before we love ourselves have discovered it doesn't work so well. Our intentions are great, but the outcome is an utter disaster because you can't do it. Until and unless I am producing something inside of me, I have no way to give it to you. So let's start with our relationship with ourselves. It's so interesting because raise your hand if you've ever in high school and even earlier than that in junior high, in university, in graduate school, or at any point in your life, raise your hand if you've ever had a roommate who was not a family member or a spouse. Raise your hand. All right, so almost all of you. Now, raise your hand if you've ever had a really annoying roommate. Having a really annoying roommate is one of life's greatest frustrations because you're stuck. Whether it's a roommate in a dorm, whether it's a housemate, you've rented one room, somebody else has rented the other room, what are you going to do? You're both, kind of renters. It's really annoying. And yet, you find ways around it. You buy yourself a pair of earplugs, you get a double lock for your door, you stay out as much as you can, you do whatever you need to do in order to survive. Now imagine that roommate lived inside your head. No place to hide. You're on the toilet, they're there. You're in the shower, they're there. You're behind your double locked doors, they're there. You're at the corner coffee shop, they're there. You've got earplugs in, an eye shade on, noise canceling headphones on, and there they are, just as loud as ever. And that's how we are with ourselves. The voice in your head, the one who speaks to you from the inside, is that roommate, that permanent roommate. You wake up in the middle of the night, even just to go to the bathroom. They're there jabbering away. They never stop. They never seem to need to sleep. Just jabbering away. And it's not even like they're telling you anything interesting. It's not like they're reciting beautiful mantras or telling you some inspiring story. What are they saying? You're fat. You're stupid. You're ugly. Nobody likes you. Your room's a mess. You left too many things undone today. You're a failure. You're lazy. You're irresponsible. Oh my God, if you don't do that thing right now, the sky's gonna fall. Constantly. Day in, day out, no weekends, no holidays, no days off. You would think that we would figure out some way to get along. That we would figure out some solution to that problem. I mean, we figure it out when we've got a roommate in the house who doesn't actually, thank God, yell at us, if you're on the toilet or in the shower or whatever, at least there's some place of refuge. And yet we live our lives with this permanent roommate in our head, and we never even try to do anything about it. In fact, we literally actually just kind of believe everything they say. Oh, I'm an awful person, okay. Oh, I'm horrible and nobody likes me, okay. Oh, I'm never going to achieve anything, okay. Any relationship in the world, we've got to take care of that one we have with a brain mate rather than a roommate. All the time. So first, let us figure out, how do we deal with that relationship, the 24/7 one, the one from whom you can't take a break. Go to any corner of the world and it's still there. And that's what our spiritual practice is about. I mean, at the core of it, that's why we learn to meditate. It's why we talk about working with the mind, working with our thoughts, because those are our thoughts, is the voice of that person. And it goes on and on. And so we begin with some of the stuff that I was mentioning this morning when we were talking about negative thoughts, of quite literally stopping. Notice it. Just be aware. Notice it. No, it isn't the voice of God. No, it isn't gospel. No, it isn't your higher truth. It's just a conditioned voice in your head that comes from some aggregate of the voices that we've heard throughout our lives. Parents, teachers, relatives, media, culture, people we follow on social media, whatever it may be. But we've taken all of those threads, we've brought them together into one voice that just keeps going. So the first thing is just stop for a moment. Notice it, watch it. See it as separate from you. It isn't you. It's a tape deck. You've spent, however old you are, you've spent that many years of your life recording into it. You've carried it with you like a dictaphone. Wherever you go, it picks up whoever's saying what, and then it plays it back for you. So just notice it. Recognize it doesn't have any kind of authority on the truth. It's not you heard it in your head, therefore it's true. These days, can't even tell you how many people, especially in India, will tell me something completely outrageous, and I'll say, how do you know that? It's always, some political thing or some global thing or some economic thing or health thing, and I'll say, where in the world did you hear that? Oh, I saw it on WhatsApp. Like, really? You believe that stuff? Now, we understand that the stuff that's coming into our social media feed or that's getting forwarded many times on WhatsApp is most likely not true. And yet the voice in our head, we take it without even a second thought. So just bring awareness. When we talk about mindfulness, that's what this is. This is mindfulness. Mindfulness is not just how slowly can I drink a glass of water, noting the muscles in the arm or the feel of it down my tongue or my throat. It's literally being mindful of my mind. Now that you're aware of it, then ask yourself that core question we were speaking about this morning. Is it true? Is there any basis in reality for it? Where did it come from? Why do I believe this? One of the things Pujya Swamiji emphasizes a lot is introspection. This is introspection, it's contemplation, it's inquiry. This is self-inquiry. Begin there. It's the most critical place. And then as you do that, what you're going to notice is the way that your thoughts form. And this is really important because our emotional state, how we feel in any moment, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, I'm annoyed, I'm ecstatic, I'm resentful, whatever it may be. It's all a product of my thoughts. Every single emotional state is a product of my thought. If I thought about something, therefore it leads to a felt sense. They go together. Change your thoughts. Change your felt sense. It's the snake and rope situation, right? I see something, I think it's a snake. Therefore, I have an emotion of fear, a felt sense of anxiety, terror. The light goes on. I can see it's a rope. I have a thought that says, oh, silly, it's not a snake, it's a rope. Felt sense changes. Calmness. Fear is gone, anxiety is gone. Calmness, a little bit of giggling, and I go back to sleep. So from thought comes the emotional state and the felt sense. So if you want to change how you feel in your mind, in your body, in your life, it's all about your thoughts. Now, I always say, and for me it's a really easy way to think about it, that your thoughts are vehicles. They take you places. We think they're really innocuous. It's just a thought. What's the big deal? Well, our thoughts take us places. They're vehicles. You want to go to misery? You want to go to hell? We could easily come up right now, without even any thought. If I said just, throw them out, I won't. But if I did, we could easily come up with a whole list, kind of a never-ending list of thoughts we could have that would make us feel miserable. I gave you some examples earlier when we were talking about the voice in your head. There's so many thoughts we could have that would make us feel miserable. Thoughts about ourselves, thoughts about our future, thoughts about our loved ones, thoughts about the stock market, thoughts about climate change, thoughts about the environment. There's so many thoughts we could have that would make us feel miserable. When a thought arises, we have a choice. And this is what's critical, because most of us act like absolute slaves to our thoughts. That voice that's just there, giving them to us all day long, on the toilet, in the shower, wherever we are, and we never change it. As a thought arises, notice it. Do you want to go where it's going? So if a thought of jealousy arises, for example, judgment arises, negativity arises, complaint arises, stress arises, ask yourself, do I want to go to that destination? I know that every single one of those thoughts is going to take me to a place that doesn't feel good. How do I know that? Because I've done it 1,000,000 times. I've been there. I've gotten on that vehicle. I know exactly what jealousy feels like. I know exactly what resentment feels like. I know exactly what anger feels like. Do you want to go there? It's up to you. I'm not the thought police. I'm not going to tell you what thoughts to have or not. But what I want you all to be is able to consciously make decisions for yourself. So ask yourself, when the thought arises, is that where I want to go? And if not, then you ask yourself what has become one of my favorite questions in the world, which is there an alternative? And I'll give you a hint. There's always an alternative. When I first came to India, it's been, September will be 27 years. When I first came to India, I decided I wanted to wear saris. And everyone said, oh, they're really hard to wear. And I thought, hundreds of millions of uneducated women do it every day. I'll figure it out. And it can't be rocket science. I'll learn. Turned out to be harder than I had anticipated. And when I first started wearing one, I took this part. There's probably some, everybody's dressed pretty casually here, but you'll notice Indian women will typically, especially if they're dressed nicely, not only have pleats here, but have pleats here. So this pleats up nicely and goes here. So I used to do that too. And I would have women, random women I had never met before, come up to me to fix my sari. Women in the street, literally. Now, the pleats in front come literally down in front. These ones go up right here. So in order to fix it, you literally are sticking your hand into that person's underwear, or bra, as the case may be. And so I had these random women come up to me and stick their hands into my underclothes and grab and essentially, like, you know, in the street, fix my clothes. And the first time that happened, I was left, like a deer caught in headlights. Oh my God. And the moment I could even speak, I said, I've been violated. Like, she literally just stuck her hands in my underwear and I don't even know her. And I was, as you can understand, quite upset by that. And then I had a realization that I will always be so incredibly, deeply grateful for. I had noticed that in India, everybody calls each other by some family name. So for example, they'll add Bai or Ben at the end of somebody's name. So you call Manda, who's organized this, we call her Manda Ben. Means sister. It's the way that they do things. Bai for a brother, Ben for a sister, and then they've got ones for aunts and uncles, and the whole gamut of them. But you never call people just by their name. There's something if they're younger, there's something if they're older, there's something if they're older and super respectful, whatever it may be. But it's always a family. And I realized that actually these women were not intending to violate me. In fact, they were seeing me as their daughter and were doing to me exactly what they would have done to their daughter if she had had the audacity to try to walk out of the house in such a badly tied sari. And that my option was, I could either feel violated or I could feel adopted. And the choice was up to me. If I wanted to feel violated, I had plenty of evidence to support that. But it was a thought that was going to lead me to continued misery. Because of course, in a country like India, it doesn't end with just their hands in your clothes. It continues into you're sitting in the arti, for example, as anyone who's ever been there knows, and it's a crowded experience. And you're sitting, and maybe the next person is sitting starting here. And in the world I came from, those 4 inches are just 4 inches. It's not a space for a human body. But in India, that's space for at least one human body, if not a human body plus a child on their lap, plus a handbag, plus some shopping bags, plus God knows what else. And so I had situation after situation in which the choice was violated, as in, oh my God, she just sat on my lap, or adopted, as in, yeah, she just did exactly what she would have done with her own sister or her daughter or any other member of her family. Of course her thighs can be on my thighs. Why not? I don't need to know her for that. She's just adopted me. And I share that because the moment we start making decisions that are rooted not in how much evidence do I have to the contrary, how right am I in feeling violated, resentful, attacked, negative, upset, whatever it may be. And we've always got reasons. But the question is not that. See, we ask ourselves the wrong question. Question is not about how valid can my point be should it be held up in a court of law. But how does it make me feel? What destination does it take me to? Our life isn't a court of law. We don't have to prove the validity of a feeling to someone or a thought to someone. The question is, how does it make you feel? At the end of the day, where has that thought taken you? And so start to really ask yourself this. In Buddhism, they talk about this as the second arrow. They speak about the first arrow being quite literally the one that knowingly or unknowingly got shot into your body. It hurts. If you've ever had an arrow fired into you, thankfully I have not, but if you ever have, I'm sure it hurts quite a bit. But the second arrow is the one that says, oh my God, I can't believe that person did that. That's so unfair. Why am I always the one to whom these things happen? Nothing ever goes right for me. I try so hard to be good. Nothing ever works. Why is it I'm the one out of these 10 people, the arrow hits me? And I was just on my way to this place. Now I won't make it. Now everything's going to fall apart. That's the second arrow. That's the one we have a choice over. The first one you don't. The first one is just what we're going to call life. It happens. Happens according to your karmic package and the karmic packages of all of those your life is intersecting with. But the second arrow is the one we have the choice over. And interestingly, that's the one that tends to stay with us longer. The first one gets removed, you get to the doctor, you get patched up, and eventually that goes away. But that second arrow is the story that we tell ourselves about the first arrow. And that's the one that stays with us. Yeah, I was hit by that arrow. Yeah, I know it was 10 years ago, but God, you won't believe what happened. It stays with us. So you want to free yourself from that second arrow. And moving for just a minute into relationships with others, because of course, as your relationship with yourself deepens and grows and blossoms, your relationship with others will be significantly better. But just to move into there for a moment, the key to everything that you want in a relationship with others is not to expect them to fill you. To the extent that we need others to fill us is the extent to which our relationships will always be a mess. We'll be unhappy and we'll make the other person unhappy. And that's where our relationship with ourselves is so critical. Because as I discover that fullness in self, I'm able to bring fullness into a relationship. And so I'm no longer dependent upon, and therefore there's no longer the games and the dramas and the conflicts that arise. I become much more able to let it go. And letting it go is the key to a happy relationship. The more you can let go, just let it go. Yeah, they said something they shouldn't have. Yeah, okay, just let it go. Just exhale and let it go. The quicker you can do it, the more you can do it, the freer you will be from the conflict. And obviously that does not mean in any way, shape, or form that we tolerate behavior that should not be tolerated, that we tolerate abuse on any level or anything like that. But I'm talking more just about the day-to-day stuff of relationship. Just let it go. Choose peace. Choose love. That is the alternative. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking, there's always the alternative. And there's always the option to choose love and peace. But we just make that a conscious decision. And then you'll find that it's not easy, but it's simple. Just commit yourself, whatever happens, I'm going to stay in peace. I'm going to stay in love. And let that be your north, right? And the compass of your life. Whatever it is that happens, you just back to love, back to peace, back to love, back to peace. Doing whatever you need to do in yourself to get back there. And then that's what you're going to bring to the relationship. I will ask Pujya Swamiji to share with us his wisdom and his blessings and his inspiration for relationships of happiness and health and harmony and consciousness and authenticity and awakening and all good things.
So many great tips Sadhviji has given. The ingredients of maintaining harmony in our relationship. First thing is trust. When we breach our trust, we lose our harmony in our relationships. Number 2 is art of listening. We must cultivate the art of listening to each other. We forget sometimes this art. It means talk less and listen more. You need a tongue management here. It's very important. In the morning I said, husband said, what happened to you? You happened to me. That's what happens if there's no tongue management and you lose harmony. For small issues, small reasons. So art of listening. We sometimes don't even wait. I have seen it many times. What other person is going to say or saying, rather than listening patiently, carefully, we are just ready with our answers. What I have to say. I'm a jungle boy. You know better because you live with everybody in your family. But it happens. And I've noticed and seen myself and children come to me and share with me. And their spouses also sometimes. But we never shared back to their parents or to their spouses that what in privacy people come and talk to us. But So many times I have noticed, I have seen, because people have shared to me. And some children especially, they're very honest and ask you question, what is the use of being MD and PhD? I said, why you ask me this question? Both brother and sister said, oh, well, my mom is MD, my father is PhD. But when they come home, first thing happens, they fight. They watch you. Then what is the use of this education? Why we are going to school if end of the day, this is the outcome of being MD and PhD? Just imagine. They are watching you. When you come back home, I know they both work, both are tired, both have so much happening in their workplace. Happens. It is good day and bad day. So many things happen. And they have to face it. But now they come back. Where this all will go, they cannot talk to that boss. They will lose job. But when they come back home, in small things, it starts happening. And children watch. So, it is very, very important, not only for your relationship. Maintaining harmony in your relationship is not only important for you, that you stay in peace, but you understand one thing, that our children are there. They are watching us. What we are giving them back. So this is our also responsibility, to take care of ourselves. That's when Sadhviji said, first maintaining ourselves first. Harmony in, harmony out. Peace in, peace out. You must have noticed what kind of food you eat, those kind of burps you have. Yeah. Very easy. Because what you have inside, that will come out. So if you are in peace, you exude peace, you manifest peace, you share peace. But if you are in pieces, what you will share? Only pieces. And that's why we see around us so many times more pieces than peace. It's not pieces are right there. Pieces are right here. Chaos is not outside of us. Chaos is inside of us. We become chaotic because chaos is there. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, and so beautifully said, no one else is your enemy. You are your enemy and you are your friend. So first, we have to take care of ourselves. Otherwise, small issues will happen every day. How much you will take care of outside of you? This is fixed. Something else will happen. That is fixed. Something else will happen. I remember almost 43 years ago, or 42 years ago, I was invited in somebody's house in Pittsburgh, in America. In Indian community is very much to be seen, big house. Everybody wants a big house. Okay? The big house, then big carpet and big living room. And then they will invite people for party. Just come and see what we have. This is what our mind is. Just to show. Life becomes a show. It's not it is wrong. Enjoy it. God bless you. It is not wrong at all. Have big things, big houses, big cars. But how to live in those big cars and big houses? Also a art. So they invited me and I accepted, I went. and beautiful house, and living room was so huge like this, and big off-white carpet, beautiful. And I was asked the moment I arrived, we can bring for you. Water. They gave me so many choices. I said, whatever. And they brought orange juice. And because it was a big living room, or maybe drying room, it was drying room, I think. 4 doors. The father is bringing beautiful glass of juice of orange. And from this side, daughter comes. And she said, Daddy, can I give it to the holy man? Daddy was so happy. Wow, great. Parents become very happy that my child is so good to want to serve. She said, okay, yes, come. And she took the glass of juice from Daddy. And she is just now coming near to me. Big hair, beard, everything. First time she looked at me, something very weird. Maybe she never, I look weird to her anyway because she had never seen it. No holy man came to her home first time. So she was really looking at me but still walking. But when she came very close and she became so nervous, she looked at me and glass of juice fall on the floor. And that was it. Even guests didn't start coming. I was the first one. And before people see it, beautiful house, beautiful carpet, and it fell in such a way that became India's map. Huge, big. And now, Dad was so angry, and he shouted, Jackie! Oh, poor Jackie could not say anything. And what to say? It happened. What to say? And again, what happens when you don't answer? You shout more. Why don't you answer me? And if you answer, you speak in front of me. Shut up. Yeah. And again he said, Jackie. And Jackie, poor Jackie, didn't say anything else. And I was watching her. Third time Daddy said, so strongly said, I cannot even say that way, the way he shouted. And she said, Daddy, it happens. Wow. She was not a yogi, not doing yoga every day, not attending any yoga classes, no meditation classes, but what a great answer she gave. Daddy, it happens. Yes, it happens. In our life also it happens. But the problem is, it happens in everybody's life. But when it happens with us, to us, when we do it, then we are very different. Then we are advocate. But it happens through somebody else, we become the judge. Why this happened? Calm down. Stay calm. Because as Sadhviji was saying, how you take things. If you are calm inside, you are connected, you are peaceful, your answer will be, yes, it happens. You accept it. You don't shout. You don't make it a big deal or big issue. And it's not because of that person. You have to take care of yourself. And the good thing is, you go immediately, just bring some towels or something and clean the floor. But you want to keep it, you want to show somebody. For whom? And you keep shouting at baby, you did it, you did it, you did it. And that's what happened in our wounds also, in our heart. We keep showing, you did it. It's all because of you, this mess happened. this is not a win-win situation. You lose it. So maintaining the harmony in our relationship is immediately take care of it. It happens. It's okay. Don't worry. Even other person is feeling bad, make that person in ease. It's okay. It happens. Number one. Number two, why this happens in the first place? This happens because of our own ego. That we cannot take it. How you can dare? How you can do this? We cannot take it. Our ego gets hurt and we become angry. I travel all over the world, and wherever I go, maybe the language is different. People ask me question in their own language. Sometimes somebody translates for me. But only one question is very common from every country, from every creed, from every culture. Everyone asks me, I don't know, had enough, seen enough, but now I want peace. I want peace. I don't know what to do. I said, very simple, my dear. Answer is hidden in your own question. In one line, you have 3 words. Number 1, I. Number 2, want. Number 3, peace. Simply, you remove the I, remove the want, what remains? Peace. Our own egos, own arrogance, or sometimes our own ignorance, that also is because of our ego. Because of our own ego, we keep hurting ourselves and we keep hurting our families, our friends. And sometimes if you command the nations, our nations. So much is happening in the world, we know that. I don't want to go there. Why these wars are created? It's all ego games. And wars in the world are war in our homes, or in our hearts. Only can be stopped when we work on ourselves. It is not that somewhere you have to fix outside. When we go out, we come here, we are in the nature, and mostly I have seen few places there is sign, look out, look out. Great, look out. There is so much to look out. But I will say, when you come for the retreat, there should be a sign, look in. Look in. And when you start looking in, believe me, you find the solution immediately. Yesterday, before I came here, we were in one marriage. Both husband, wife, means both boys and girls, came together from 2 different cultures, from different parents, different DNAs, got together, now they are one. I told them it's not very important, my dear, to bring more money in a house. Money is needed. You need money, you will work. Bring money in. But taking care of each other is more important. May you bring love in each other's hearts. May you bring peace in each other's minds. And may you bring joy and upliftment in each other's souls. When you bring peace, love and harmony to each other's, that is needed the most. And in our maintaining our relationship and easy ways, even Sadhviji shared, they said, look, in wedding life, in marriage life, either you can write or you can be married. You cannot be both. How you can be both? If you keep proving, no, you are right, wrong, I am right, you are, then married life is over. In married life, you cannot be both. Either you are married or you are right. So mantra is, to maintain the healthy relationship in your married life or whatever life I can tell you. Okay, honey. Very simple. Okay, honey. Okay, honey. And done. And before you sleep, it is my experience. Before you sleep, all over the world, I have seen people say sorry, ask for forgiveness if something has happened, and at least you should not go to bed in fight. If something happened, okay, I'm so sorry. It's okay. It happens. Honey, it happens. Don't talk to me, it happens. And they shut the door and what will do? And now you keep waiting for 4 days. Who will start first? Oh, I should not have said it. No, have a tongue management. Very important. And practice. That's why when I was touched by my master, first time, I was only 8. And after 6 months he comes back again. I requested him, I want to be like you. He said, okay, observe 1 year of silence. 1 year of silence at the age of 8.5. I will not go to that story, but I observed 1 year of silence. What was that? From the day one, giving me this mantra of silence, be silent, means what? It means from the day one, told me how to have a tongue management. In both ways. Because from this tongue you eat, from this tongue you speak. Both ways he gave me this tongue management. And I have seen it from that day and now. Really, if you want to be happy and have a harmonious life and a happy life, believe me, this tongue management mantra is going to bring so much happiness in your life. Just small things, and we just say it. And we say it, then we repent. Practice this tongue management. And this will come through silence. You don't have to have a silence for 1 year, even 1 hour. Every day. Just start somewhere that I am going to watch myself. Silence means what? It means watching myself. Listening to myself. We have listened so many. We keep listening. So many noises, so many voices. But now there is a time I have to listen to myself. And the moment you start listening to yourself, and you will start listening to the divine also. In silence, he speaks to you. Introspection. Tomorrow in the last session, we'll say there are 3 multivitamins. Every day, morning, during the daytime, whenever you need, and before you sleep. We'll talk about those 3 multivitamins, which can keep you strong, which can keep your relationship, not only with others, with yourself also. Sometimes we are very goody-goody with others, but we are not good with ourselves. Before we start showing compassion to others, be compassionate to yourself also. Take care of yourself. If you are not taken care of, you can't take care of anybody else. Because it's all here. If you are not healed here, you will not feel others. You will not heal others. So for that, what are those 3 mantras? We'll talk tomorrow. So anyway, okay honey, you got the mantra. Okay? Very easy one. I'm telling you the easy one. Where you can just make it immediately. And maintain the trust, no matter what. And have faith in the divine. There is a divine design. It's not that everything you have to do it. You just do your duty. Do your karma. And how to perform your karma, we'll talk tomorrow, because then maybe we can have few more questions. And tomorrow we have another session. And before you sleep, not just you hug each other and just have at least spend few moments in your hugs. And why is very important? You say Mahatmaji, Swamiji, and talking about huggy, be huggy. Because if your hugs can take care of so many things in your relationship. Somebody told me, I don't know because somebody told me, because I was only 8 when I left my family and came to this life, and somebody told me, I have noticed, I have seen at my house, even my husband is sometime not happy, and when we pass by, I just do it like through my elbow like this, and that makes a big difference. I said, okay, so you can try also. But what we do, rather, if we are not happy, we just leave the room and close the door in such a way, bang the door and show that how angry I am. We can't say something, but our door says it. Yes, how angry you are. We bang the door. No, believe me, this doesn't work. This does not work. Your peace will work. Your happiness will work. Your calmness will work. Not answering back will work. Answering, I can take it. I just say it. Why I should be quiet? I just say it. Yes, learn, talk, this tongue management. And then thought management. These are your thoughts. As Sadhviji said, what you want to become, how you want to maintain your relationship. It comes first in the thought. And those thoughts become your destiny. The thought came, okay, you are not happy, and God forbid it should not happen in anybody's life, but thought came, and you raise your hand. Do you raise your hand, you slap it, and what happens? You hurt a person so deep, we don't even notice sometime, with our words, with our actions. And how it starts with one thought. The thought came to hurt. And you take your hand and just go and do it. Here, you can control yourself. The moment this thought comes, and this thought, before it becomes action, you take it, you do it, now is action happen. And when it happens first time, if you don't stop it, don't ask for forgiveness, don't feel sorry about this, and this will become your trait. Again it will happen. And if you don't stop there, then it will be your habit. Our action becomes our traits becomes our habits, and our habits become our nature. And then what happens? You don't even realize or notice. You become instinctively, you start hitting and become animal. And that becomes your destiny. One thought, moment it happens, cultivate this habit in meditation. We'll talk tomorrow about meditation. That if you can create a pause right there, first day, through introspection, in the evening before you sleep, no, I should not have done it. I'm so sorry. If you have a courage, go and say sorry immediately, and you will see. Maybe not that night, maybe tomorrow, things will become over. Your GPS will become active. Your GPS will become active, and you will stop. And you will see that how your relationship will improve. And more harmony will enter. More and more peace and happiness and loving relationship will not only benefit you, but to the entire family, especially children. Just imagine when relationships are broken, the children suffer the most. So you are not living only your life for yourself. think about your children, think about others around you, and to maintain, no matter what, at any cost, choose peace, choose love, choose harmony, as Sadhviji said, that is the answer. It's okay, things happen in life. That remember that mantra like Jackie, Daddy, it happens. That's the mantra. God bless you. And if you have a few more questions, we can take few questions. Then
how to manage an anger temper through managing your expectations. We get angry when that which we wanted didn't happen. The only way to deal with that is through managing our expectations. And along with that, to managing our sense of entitlement to having our expectations fulfilled. Expectations in and of themselves are not bad. We actually require them to move through the world. I mean, there's a set of, we expect that the people, who built this thing built it well and it's not going to collapse on our head. We expect that there's not going to be a sinkhole in the earth right underneath where we are that's going to suck us all into it. We expect that when we go to sleep at night, we're going to wake up in the morning, that our loved ones are going to wake up in the morning. I mean, there's a fundamental set of expectations that we actually require in order to live. The dilemma is that most of us expect a lot more than that. We expect a lot of people around us. We sort of expect that everything ranging from the weather to other people's own choices and decisions and priorities and values and life paths should be based on what we want. And so when that doesn't happen, we get angry. So the only way to manage it, for anger, preventative care is the best care. Manage your expectations. Really realize that you are not given control over another person's life. Every single one of us comes onto this earth with one life over which we have control. One set of actions, one set of reactions, one set of thoughts, one life dharma. I mean, we may have many dharmas through one life, but only in our life. We don't actually have control over another person. And the moment that we really deeply recognize that, anger dissipates. If you find that you were not able to successfully prevent it, and there it is arising, a few tips. Number one, as Pujya Swamiji said, to grab that space between the thought and the action. So the thought may be there. Who the hell do you think you are? How dare you? Whatever it may be. But through our practice of mindfulness, we get in the habit of watching the thought, noticing the thought. So long before we yell, scream, hit, do something, we've become aware of the thought that is rising. We grab that space and we use it to go for a walk, to meditate, to go for a run, to drink some cool water, to go listen to some nice music, to chant some kirtan, some classical music, whatever it may be that changes the frequency of our energetic being. We do whatever we need to do to lengthen that space, such that no longer are we even inclined toward whatever reaction that was, and that we're able to just see whatever it is that has happened as yet another happening. As this little girl taught us so beautifully, Daddy, it happens. Yeah, things happen. But we don't have to lose ourselves just because they happen. How can you stop ruminating over past events, conversations, especially if it triggered a negative image that you have of yourself? Guilt, regret, all of those fun things that we live with. Ruminating, the actual word ruminating, it's a great word. It quite literally, we use it to mean having the same thought over and over again, but it literally has to do with the way that a horse chews. Where if you've ever seen a horse chew, it takes the grass and literally just quite literally, that is ruminating. And when your mind does that, you know what it feels like. Ruminating is really when our thoughts get stuck. They just get stuck. And we can't break the habit. And that's where, as I was speaking this morning about breaking the pattern of negative thoughts, it's where you really need that mantra or that something else just to break the habit, such that the moment that that thought arises, you literally have something else for the mind to do. And you just don't let it go there. However, before you embark on that, ask yourself, is there something I need to learn here? Like, is there regret for a reason? Is that which I said or did something that in retrospect I realize was a mistake? And if so, can I learn the lesson? And can I learn it in such a way that with that self-compassion that is so important, I forgive myself and I let it go? Imagine that someone else said something to you that they shouldn't have said. Now they feel awful about it. They have apologized to you in every possible which way they can think of 100 times. You're going to forgive them if it's someone you love. If they really have learned their lesson and they really feel badly, you're going to forgive them. Or at least I would hope you forgive them. In the same way, forgive yourself. It came out, shouldn't have come out. It did. You've learned your lesson. You've embarked on a practice of mindfulness so these things don't happen again. You've embarked on a practice of meditation. You've embarked on all of these practices so that those sorts of words, actions no longer come from you. Now let it go. Just let it go. And really make that conscious decision to do so. Then work with the thoughts. Because sometimes even after consciously you've said, okay, I forgive myself, there's still that ruminating habit. So that's when you literally just give the mind something else. We spoke this morning about a lot of different options. Choose something and just give it something else to do. Break that habit. We'll take one more quickly. I took the medicine plant ayahuasca to help me get over ill health from long COVID and fibromyalgia. And it brought on a dark Kundalini awakening, so terrifying that it has left me with adrenaline panic attacks, a feeling of doom, and that I am trapped in this experience. All my chakras opened, and I was left with a tidal wave to be grounded and to stay in my body. It's become impossible to work and function. If I don't work, I don't have money. I feel like not wanting to be here anymore. I have tried everything. What can I do to get rooted in my body and to stop my crown chakra energy? So fortunately, I actually know that the asker of this question has already beautifully received some wonderful yogic advice on working with the chakras. The only moral objection to it at all, I think it can be really beneficial in some circumstances, but it's powerful stuff. And it's not something to be done lightly. It's not something to be done on your own. It's not something to be done unless you're doing it really with someone who knows exactly what they're doing and exactly how to work with things when that which you think is going to happen, issues that they're facing, shift so many things in the body that, yeah, for a lot of people, it makes things better. And for a lot of people, it takes them in a completely different direction. And so, first of all, let it be just yet another think 10 times, take a deep breath, think 10 more times. Don't just jump on a bandwagon. If you're going to do it, make sure that you do it with the reverence, care, thoughtfulness, and preparation that one would do any mind, body, consciousness altering experience with. Number 2, I have great faith in the power of our own energetic system. Our system of chakras, our system of energy in the body. And if you embark on practices of meditation, of chanting japa, of mindfulness, of being in nature, of things that have been used for thousands and thousands and thousands of years to both uplift people and also to anchor them. That's why real spiritual people are actually grounded and anchored as well. It's why those who are, I'm so flighty, well, that's just because, my chakras are open. No. Real spiritual energy grounds you and elevates you. It brings you here and it expands your consciousness. And so if you work with practices that are tried and true for thousands and thousands and thousands of years with all of the sages and saints and rishis and mystics of every tradition who were doing every type of practice that was raising their kundalini, that was shifting their consciousness, those practices kept them anchored and grounded. So in addition to that which you've been beautifully given already today, I would say, stay also with that which we know works. Keep meditating, keep doing japa, stay mindful, eat clean, pure food, be in nature, watch the breath, be aware, and the system will settle. You will reground in that health. I'll stop here for now. We have a beautiful fire ceremony left for us as well this evening, after some chanting as we go. And as you walk out of here, you're going to receive a supadi nut. It's a very, very hard nut. One of the ways of thinking about it, of that nut, is the nut of the ego that's hard and intractable. And that no matter how much you try to squish it, break it, doesn't want to squish or break in your hands. And yet, when we simply surrender it, that it's not about stomping it or hammering it or breaking it or annihilating it or biting it or any of those things, but it's simply about surrendering it. The fire is a symbol of the divine. And so we spoke earlier today about all of that which is holding us back, that which is keeping us stuck. Stories, dramas, histories, grudges, anger, expectations, attachments. It symbolizes that. So you're going to be given one as you walk out. Hold it in your hand. As we gather around the fire, we're going to have beautiful sacred mantra chanting. And as the mantras are chanted, at the end of each mantra, you'll hear swaha, swaha. I offer it, I offer it, I offer it. And you're going to offer that nut along with your either symbolic or literal, if you've actually written it, either way, into the fire, knowing that that fire will purify it all and allow you to be free. It's a very ancient and sacred ritual of purification. So we purify that keeps us stuck, that keeps us from living in the truth of who we are.